The Bill of Rights, Amendment 1 says here, Congress shall not make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. The freedom of speech is what we should start concentrating on today. Now, many of you may see it already, many of you maybe just seeing it for the first time, that a lot of our freedoms are constantly being questioned or pushed. And with these, I'm not even going to say it's a certain political party just in general. Because really, it's somewhat both sides, really. Because it takes both sides to have a vote go through, to an extent at least. And the freedom of speech right now is what's really on the line. Now the Second Amendment right here, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now that one has been put on the line for how many decades? Whether that be regulations or more paperwork or just laws in general, constantly trying to push, and every little reason that comes up, they'll push to try to take that right away, because that Second Amendment right is what's really keeping you from having the rest of them. But back to that freedom of speech. With social media now, with just news media, with walking out on the street and just having this ridiculous reactions just for what you say. But it's interesting how it's slowly being taken away. Because if you watch, it's not necessarily Congress or lawmakers going straight up to you saying, well, you just can't say that. You simply can't say it. Law, done. Now, they're not doing that. But by slowly drilling into the heads of just viewers in general, it doesn't have to be right or left or moderate or whatever, whoever watches consistently, religiously, and goes, well, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, he has a point. It's those people that listen enough to go, well, he said what? And then to hear your newscaster going, see, he's bad. And guess what? Every time you're gonna hear whoever they're talking about, say Billy's talking about Bobby. Every time you see Bobby, he's bad. Well, why? Because Billy said he's bad. Well, wait a minute. Well, Billy said that he said this, and well, did he? Well, I don't know, but Billy said he did. So by having a handful of Billies telling a bunch of to the watchers or Jimmy, well, enough of those Jimmies will go, well, I don't want any more Bobby's talking because Bobby's bad. They'll just say he's bad. They'll say he's Hitler. Did you see what Bobby said? He's Hitler. Just because of one thing he said doesn't make him Hitler. Anyone can make up an argument that another person's Hitler. That doesn't mean they are. But by using that example of, well, Hitler, in modern day, if we knew that there's for sure a Hitler, would people do anything to stop him? Yeah. I'm sure anybody would. But they use that to dehumanize those they don't like. They use that label. If there was any other... If there's anyone as big as, say, Hitler, they would use that person too to say, hey, if Trump, they would use that label on Trump too, and say, see, he's bad, and then they use those words, we gotta do whatever it takes. And then when something happens, whoa, we don't think that those things happen, but whatever it takes. And I don't mean violent, but whatever it takes. That's what they're saying. Because, in kind of an indirect form, they want to say that he doesn't get the right to speak. So they'll manipulate it, they'll call it hate speech. They'll say he talks mad, whatever you want to call it. Whatever word you put in front of speech or talk or a verb, whatever it is. They're trying to dehumanize him. They're trying to take the meaning out of his words. They're taking his First Amendment so that way, again, anything else after that, you just kind of want to wipe it off the plate. You don't get that off. It's nasty. I don't want that. So then little by little, they want to start making it seem like, well, he doesn't deserve that right. And then anyone who follows it, guess what? They don't deserve that right. Because they agree too. They agree to everything. Well, I'll tell you what, the name is Jimmy. The Jimmy that's listening. Guess what? You can take out your phone and go see what he said himself. They may say, oh, he only wants tax cuts for the rich. You look it up and he wants tax cuts all around. But he's Hitler. Hitler must have wanted tax cuts. I didn't do enough studying on Hitler himself to see what kind of a tax reform he wanted. But so what, every time somebody wants a tax cut, you're going to want to call him Hitler? Nah, at some point you got to think to yourself, gee, every guy who wants a tax cut must be Hitler. And then you're sitting there complaining, yeah, Uncle Sam, he's always got to take his cut. Don't know where the money's going, but... Because in part you're listening to the people who are telling you, see, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And then you're taking the same words that you're hearing. What goes in must come out. So every time you hear a certain name that you don't like, he's bad, he's bad, he's bad. He's Hitler, don't you know? And that's why there's political violence. That's why there's a lot of violence just in general. From rumors, just straight up lies. From hatred. You may not agree with the guy, but guess what? He can still speak. You don't want to hear it? If it's on the TV, click. Done. On your phone, click. Done. Don't have to hear it. A lot of us, it seems like we'd rather just make a huge fit than rather just push a button. Really think about it. Have you become that lazy? That it's so hard to push a button just to not hear it anymore? You don't have to hear it. You don't have to hear me either. Guess what? There's a button. You don't like it, click it. Then you go watch Blue's Clues. Whatever's on YouTube. Or TV, I don't know, whatever you watch it on. But being careful of what you say too can matter. Now, just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean you should actually have what they would call hate speech. I mean, right here, Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. Verse 30. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. 31. Let all the bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. 32. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. Those hateful words, you can put them away. You can decide, I'm not going to have anything to do with it anymore. It is very possible. Guess what? You can go a day without swearing if you swear. If you put your mind to it, you can. For some of us, it's like breathing. It gets kind of ridiculous. But you don't have to have hateful words. Now, you still have the right to say it. And if that's what you say, that's what you say. I'm not going to throw a huge fit if that's what you have to say. I have a coworker, and if you haven't guessed yet, I am a Republican. My coworker, though, he'll say himself he's a liberal, and that's just his choice. That's what he thinks. That's what he wants. That's fine. There'll be times where he's working next to me. Guess what? We work 10 hours a day. We'll be talking politics all day long. He'll say an idea. I'll say, I don't think that idea's too good, and this is why, and here's reason A, B, C, and D. And he'll go, A has a point, but B, C, and D, I don't know about that. And this is my reason for A, B, C, and D. And for 10 hours, we can talk. And I might say, you know what? I don't like where this part of the conversation is going. Can we agree just to not talk about that? Because it seems like we're both getting heated. Guess what? You can say, you know what? I just don't want to talk about that right now. Instead of saying, I gotta have the last word. It's gotta be me. A lot of media and technology, that's what they made it all to be about. Me. What about me? It makes me think of that country song. I can't think of the artist at the moment, but I want to talk about me. I want to talk about I. Because you always talk about you. Those aren't the exact words, but for those of you that know, you know. Conversations. Having a clear conversation. Just plain talking. That's okay. Doesn't need to be heated. Doesn't need to get into a fist fight. It doesn't need to lead into any violence. It's okay to say, I just gotta walk away from this. Because for me to get this upset over someone's speech, you know what? He has that right, and I can walk away and just say, I just don't agree with you. That's okay. To say, I just don't agree, and I'm gonna walk away. Because you had that freedom. There's how many religions out there? Now, I may say I'm going to go and I'm going to minister the religion that I agree with and I believe in. And somebody else might just plainly say to me, you know what? You got some good points, but that's just not what I believe in. And that's okay. That's what it is. Can't convince everybody. You don't have to shove an idea down every single person's throat. And when they don't agree, you don't have to cancel them every single time. In cancel culture, look, you say one thing on Facebook, and guess what? You're done. Why? Don't like them on Facebook? Guess what? You can just unfriend them too. Oh, I saw that Bobby unfriended me. Bobby's choice. It's not going to affect my day. The impatience that we're growing to with technology and the control that people are feeding to our minds of that you can control every little thing in your life is leading to more of this violence and leading to more of saying that this is a hate speech and that they don't deserve to have that right. Because they're trying to convince you that you can control everything. It's all up to you. You're right, it is up to you. Turn off the TV. That's how you can stop it. By turning it off. Because they still have that right to speak. Okay. If you want a cheeseburger for lunch, you're like, I'm going to have a cheeseburger for lunch. Because that just sounds good. And you go to your local diner restaurant, whatever you have down the street. And they go, we don't have cheeseburgers, but I'll tell you what, our grilled cheese and tomato soup, whew, used to have some. You're thinking, well, I came for a cheeseburger. You're canceled because I didn't get my cheeseburger. Kind of sounds stupid. That's how it looks for trying to cancel people for things that they say. Okay? You may go, I saw him put this on Facebook. You don't have to look at Facebook. Did you see what he said on YouTube? Don't watch his videos. Did you see that Fox or CNN or whatever said this? Don't watch them. Doesn't affect me. Guess what I'm going to do the next day? Wake up and go to work. You know what I'm going to do after that? I'll have lunch at noon. I'll go home. I'll make supper, dinner, whatever you want to call it. I'll see my wife and my children. And I'll go on with my day. I'll go to bed. And what I'll do the next day. I'll wake up and go to work. And if you say, did you see what was on CNN? No. You really want to know? I really just don't care. I'll listen to the people that I care about and want to hear from. And if somebody makes a comment, if I'm interested in something else, guess what? I'll look into it. There's another big thing that we just don't have the patience for, is looking into things. Billy said that Bobby said this, and I believe what Billy said, even though he lied 5 minutes ago, and I have a phone and computer where I can look it up myself to see that Billy twisted Bobby's words and that really Billy's the liar the whole time. But Billy said this to me, so I gotta believe what Billy said. Again, you have a phone. You probably have a laptop. You probably have a TV that has different channels. Is the channel button stuck on there? Well, did you see that Billy said that Billy said that Billy said that Billy said? Did you know there's a Bobby out there? Oh, Billy said Bobby's bad. Did you ever listen to Bobby? No, because Bobby's bad. He's Hitler, don't you know? You're trapping yourself in a box. You're kind of going crazy. It's like having a feral cat in a box. Guess what's shaking around? What's going on in this thing? We hear the same things over and over and over and over and over again. Guess what? There's a problem. Kind of go a little crazy there. It's okay to look at different things every now and again. I'm not going to believe everything that Billy says, because more than likely he's going to try to twist it so that it makes the best sense for Billy and Billy's listeners. I should probably go take a look at what Bobby said. Well, okay, this time I thought that Bobby said a good thing, and I agree with Bobby. Or Billy might talk about Jimmy and say, "Do you see what Jimmy said?" And I might look at him, Jimmy really did say that. Boy, that wasn't really good of Jimmy to say that, but he said it, and that's just what Jimmy said. Then guess what? I'm just going to say, you know what? Maybe the next election I just don't vote for Jimmy. I'll vote for Bob. There's a way you can speak is voting. Some of you throw fits about that. If you don't vote for who I want, well, this is how I'm speaking, and I have that right. The freedom of speech and the right to live. The two most important documents, in my opinion, in this nation is the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. And the two rights that they put in front is speech and life. And we are walking on a tightrope on whether, and you might want to say for this, the people themselves actually want to keep it. Because politicians, and they'll admit it, will talk about taking away your right to bear arms. I'm sure if it came to it, they'll talk about Amendment number 3 here: no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in the manner to be prescribed by law. I'm willing to bet there's a good portion of politicians that when it came to it, say from 2 down, will start questioning that right. And then the 3 rights named in the Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's a lot of politicians that, well, they can't prove that pursuit of happiness is just given to you, because it's not. That's why it's a pursuit of happiness. And liberty, freedom, rights, just in general, are questioning that. But by getting into the heads of people on social media, on news media, on radio, whatever kind of media, they're making the people themselves start taking away the rights of others that contradict them. The rights of life and the right of speech. The foundation that is built upon for the rest of your freedom and rights. If I can't say the things that I agree with, or even just normal everyday things, then what more of my life can I do? Some of us put words as they're just words. Simple as that. They're said, they're heard, that's it. They're done. And some of us view words as like a knife in the heart, as the most damaging thing ever. Let's just say it's right down the middle. Words can hurt, words can uplift, words can mean nothing, words can mean the worst or the best thing ever. And it's ultimately how you take it. You can say all you want about me. They'll be said, they'll be heard, they'll be gone. I'll still wake up and go to work the next day. Because that's how I take them. Because you have the right to say it. I'm not going to take that right away from you. It's your right. It's the foundation to the rest of your rights. And I'm not going to take your life either because of it. To take someone's life because you don't agree with what they say, or because you don't want them to have other rights, is not okay. There is the end of everything. That is why they're the two most important rights in the two most important documents in this nation: life and speech. Uphold those two to the highest for your freedoms. Teach your children, teach your friends that that's how it should be. That life and speech should be protected and held to the highest honor. I don't have to agree with what you say. But I should, in fact, I must acknowledge that it is your God-given right to be able to say that. It is your God-given right to live. That power should not be in my hands with what you get to say or not say, or whether you get to live or not live. No man or woman or anything other than God himself should have that right. Now, in God's word, he tells us that he would like us to put away evil speaking, to have good conversations, to be edifying. We should follow that. Not all of us do. And if you don't, I'm not going to take away your right, because it has been given to you. And with the Declaration of Independence, what a lot of people try to strive for is the pursuit of happiness before the rest. They would rather try to pursue their happiness before upholding the sanctity of life, before others' liberty, because they think they'll be happy by doing whatever it takes, as they say, to be happy. They won't. You're telling me that by taking another man or woman's life, it's gonna make you happy? If it does, I advise you to seek some help because you're gonna really need it. What happened to having love? To having simple conversations? To being able to just debate? If you don't want to debate or don't agree with it, you can walk away. What's wrong with your two legs? Walk away. Is your thumb broken? Can you not push the button to walk away? It's okay to not agree. It's okay to not believe in everything. It's okay to just not listen. It's not okay to try to take away rights. To try to put ourselves, especially in a box of just what you're hearing and seeing. Do some research. Look around. Smell the roses for once, because all they're showing you is a car accident on the road. Look at all the bad things in life. Guess what? There's some good things in life too. You should cherish them. Life should be enjoyed. That's why the pursuit of happiness is in the Declaration of Independence. Because you can pursue it after upholding life and then liberty. After that, then you can pursue happiness. If we didn't, life would be pretty boring. Because then at that point, you'd almost think it's just a factory. Wake up, go to work, go home, go to bed. Wake up, go to work, go home, go to bed. You can pursue your happiness. It's the American dream, after all, to pursue it, to pursue wealth, to pursue happiness. Go after it. If you sit here every day and go, yeah, it's another day. Went to work, Uncle Sam got his cut, and I went home in my little box of a house, and it's another day. You can pursue things. What do you want to do? Go see the mountains. Guess what? Saving some money, go see the mountains. Well, life gets a little off. I'm going to quote Dave Ramsey. Is Eeyore your spirit animal? Get your rear end gear, look up and go, hey, you know what? I can do something. So do something. Pursue happiness. After these other rights are upheld. And it is possible. Millions of people do it every day. If I pursued my happiness first, I can tell you what? Ultimately, my life wouldn't be all that joyful or happy. Because there would be a lot of things that, well, I don't even know, because that's not a thought in my head. I uphold life to the highest form. I uphold our liberty to the highest form, our freedom of speech. That should be first. That should be drilled into our heads so much that I shouldn't even have the question, am I able to do this? Some of you need to start questioning, are you able to do this? Well, I'm going to go make this person shut up. Should you? No. They have the right to say that. And currently, that's what's the, what do you want to say, government or media's biggest weapon is the people themselves right now. Using the people against the people. We need to see that. That's the people against themselves right now. In a way, it's a civil Cold War. It's getting pretty heated in some spots. It's not okay. So just talk. We can all talk. Don't think you can't. Don't think your opinion's not heard. It's heard. We have phones. We have cameras. Talk. Talk to people around you. Say holidays, you shouldn't talk about what is it, religion and politics? Talk! Now, unless your grandma says, hey, I really just wish we don't talk about that. Okay, grandma said, so listen to grandma. But Uncle Bobby over there still wants to talk, so later on, Uncle Bobby and I are going to have a conversation down at grandma's house, because grandma said not to, and we're going to respect what grandma said. Talk. Talk about how life should be upheld. Talk about the fact that you can talk. See that it's a wonderful thing. And I can almost guarantee you, pursuing your happiness is going to be found in that. By upholding those rights. By realizing that you have the freedom of religion, of press, of speech. You're going to find happiness in the fact that you can go out and just talk. A lot of us need to do that, just talk. You'd be surprised how well mentally that helps us. How that will help us physically once our mental health gets in order. I'll tell you what, so one thing I want you to do is to go out and talk.